Oh yeah, these are 12 little things that will annoy your viewers. We're gonna go over every single one of them, and we're gonna do all of them live right here on the show to annoy all of you guys today. I mean, look, as a live streamer, it's such a difficult job to do. I have so many issues every single day. Earlier, I had internet issues, I was having microphone issues, I was having camera issues. This isn't annoying at all to my viewers. It's not annoying at all, isn't it, Perrin? I mean, have you had any problems as a streamer that you want to tell us about that might annoy our viewers?
I have so many problems every day with live streaming. Everything is a problem. Nothing ever goes right. I'm going to complain here all day on stream just to annoy all of you. Roll a Restream ad.
This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
It's just so freaking annoying that every time you try and do something good, you have everything set up perfectly. You got all your little widgets in place, and then you hit go live and you start streaming, and the internet just fluctuates in and out. It's cutting in and out.
Dropping frames.
All right,
just dropping frames.
bro.
It's just...
All right, enough complaining. It really is so annoying.
It is.
Hit us with
It's
it, Ross.
annoying as
Get us
hell.
through this list.
All right, so the next up on the list, small streamers ignoring chat. I don't, obviously, like, key one to doing live streaming is to build up an audience that wants to engage with you. A horrible way to kickstart that is when you first start off streaming to just ignore your audience. It doesn't even matter what they're saying. You have to find a way to connect with them, correct?
Perrin, you like talking to people on the internet, right?
Strangers.
This can be a challenging one for your streaming and like just haven't had anybody come into your stream for a while, maybe even days, maybe even weeks, maybe even months, and then finally like someone comes in and you're so used to nobody being there that you miss them, and then by the time you talk to them, they're gone already, and it's like this very, very deflating feeling because you were wanting to have someone there to talk to, but you're so not used to it. So you got to change that around, but that can be annoying because viewers, there are lots of viewers who look for small streamers specifically because they're generally easier to connect with and more engaging. But if one of those people who are expecting that comes into the stream and that is not the case, it can be very, very annoying for that viewer because they're not getting something that they were looking forward to and what they're expecting. And that's what you want. You want viewers like that as a small to medium-sized streamer. So you got to be talking to your computer or talking out loud your thought process and being engaged with chat even when it's not there, practicing that, because if you miss that opportunity, you're missing like the key engaging viewers that you want. And because they're getting annoyed and they're leaving.
I'm muted. They come into our streams all the time, viewers, and that's annoying. When that streamer forgets to unmute his microphone, that's super annoying.
Freaking annoying.
Oh, man, we're really knocking it out of the park today. So people will come into your stream, they will expect you to engage with them, and they'll be annoyed if you don't. So, most of the time, streamers are gonna, or people are gonna come in, and they're not going to say anything relevant to what's happening in the stream. And so, one thing you can do is you can try to help keep them on point and try to help to keep them kind of on message or keep them within the context of what's actually happening on the stream, and that can make a huge impact. Otherwise, it's really hard to address them at all.
But when you go to a stream and they're just talking about their subs or how much money they're making, or whether they're not getting enough donations, or like the struggles that they're having financially, and it's this indirect play to the viewers basically saying, hey, I need you guys to donate and give me more money because what you're doing now isn't enough. And what it says about the streamer that's annoying is that you only care about the money component of all this, and that when you're thinking of challenges and hurdles and how the stream is going to improve, you're always thinking it from a monetary level in front of your viewers. You need to be thinking about that like behind the scenes. You need to be entertaining your viewers. They don't give a shit about how much money you're making, and they definitely don't want to know that it's not enough, especially if they've subscribed and supported you in different ways. The last thing you want is a viewer to be annoyed because they've supported you or they've tried, and maybe all they've been able to do is give like 100 bits or something, and you're sitting there as a streamer complaining that like the financial component of this isn't going to be enough. They will just never come back and donate to you ever again. It's very, very annoying.
Can't blame them.
I mean, just don't talk about it on stream. Like just and if whatever the viewers are going to support you with, just be thankful with that and move on and be entertaining and be engaging. Like that's the way you need to operate it so that viewers feel like they get something with their money, because they should feel like they do get something in return with their money, and they should be entertained, not have to listen to you complain about your money issues. So yeah, it's very, very annoying. Lots of streamers, even larger streamers, will do this a lot, and it does alienate viewers, and it does annoy viewers, especially me.
AWOL, any thoughts?
There is an appropriate way. We just had a technical issue that I fixed live. I bet that was annoying for all of our live viewers there a moment ago.
I almost quit.
I know. I had to unplug the capture card, replug it, and it worked. So one thing that you can do, though, when it comes to financial and growth goals, not necessarily growth, talking about how many viewers and subscribers and crap that you want, nobody cares but you. But with financial goals, if you are going to talk about financial goals on your stream, one thing I would encourage you to do is to say what the money means to you and how it's going to benefit the viewer when you get money. So for example, if your goal is to hit, let's say 100 subs this month or whatever, you can let your viewers know, if I hit 100 subs, here's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to upgrade my internet so I can bump up my streams from 720 to 1080. And I want to upgrade my capture card so I can do 60 frames per second streams instead of 30 frames per second. Just as an example. And the reason why that's good is the viewers see what the benefit is. They see that the money that they're providing is being reinvested into the entertainment they're watching. And that is good. I think it's okay to talk about your money in that way, because the viewer's like, oh, okay, cool. So I put money in the tip jar of this performer essentially, and he's going to, it's going to result in a better performance. That's okay. But talking about how annoyed you are or how stressed you are about paying your rent or those sorts of things, it's super awkward. Just think about the feeling that you have when somebody's soliciting you for cash outside of a store or in a public environment. It just makes you feel uncomfortable. It's going to drive people away. Back to you, Ross.
Yep. When someone donates anything, if it's a penny or a bit, even the smallest amount, if you then later on in that stream or even immediately following that donation, start talking about, oh, well, I'm never going to have enough to get such and such and such. That is what we in the industry call a dick move. Don't be that person. Moving on in the list. This is a Perrin one I'm going to throw to him. Perrin, just go ahead and talk about the next one on the list. This is all you, buddy.
This is a little thing to annoy your viewers, and it is...
Literally anything. Literally anything you do while you're streaming live as the streamer is going to annoy somebody out there. There's always a portion of viewers, they're going to hate what you do, and they'll try to hate watch you, or they're going to be critical, and they're not going to like something about you, like the way you talk, or your appearance, or the way you play the game, or the way you play the game, or the game that you play, or pretty much anything. Literally anything you do is going to be annoying to somebody out there who's potentially watching. So don't necessarily change catered upon those specific people. And that's not what this episode is about today. But understand that you can't fix or change anything necessarily about like all of your personality just to appease those viewers. Those aren't the viewers worth appeasing. There are definitely things in this list that you can do to change from being an annoying streamer to not one. But you shouldn't be doing it for those few vocal haters out there who are going to hate you no matter what you do. So don't. I wanted to add that in there because no matter what, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to be hating on you and thinking that you're annoying just because you're playing this one game and not the game they want to see.
That makes sense. And one thing I'd add to that is if you're not annoying your viewers in some capacity, you're doing it wrong. And so you're doing a good thing if you annoy some viewers and you're driving them away. I remember when I started streaming in the first place back in 2010, I was like one of the first people to do a character on Twitch, like Dr. Disrespect. But way earlier, I had a fedora on, sunglasses on, like I was wearing a full-blown suit. I had a stupid character I was doing that yelled at people. A bunch of people came by the stream and the number one asked question is, why are you wearing sunglasses? And they thought it was so absurd, and people complained about it all the time. I saw that as validation, that what I was doing was more interesting and unique and was getting a reaction out of people. So if people are reacting to certain thing that you do that's unique and that you've kind of put into your character or put into the show or put into a bit that you're doing on your stream, that's a good thing. And that might mean that you should double down on that because it's getting a reaction out of people. The worst thing that can possibly happen in your stream is you get no reaction and nobody cares because it's all about getting attention in 2021 and being unique. And against 12 million people, you really got to do everything you can to break through. So that little spark of maybe annoying 10% of viewers, 20% of viewers is going to have the other 80% love you. Back to you, Ross.
Yep, moving down the list, poorly mixed audio and microphone clipping. Oh my God, Perrin, is there a faster way to get somebody to switch to a different stream?
Actually, I'm willing to tolerate a little bit of that.
How far? How far would you go?
If they don't have it fixed within like a couple of streams, then I'm out.
Got it.
And if it's really obnoxious, like if they're screaming into the mic and it's just like they haven't used a condenser or anything like that, and they scream often, and like that's their part of their personality thing, and they haven't figured that part out on their mic, then I'm probably out, because it's just, you can't take the headphone crash too much, right? It just gets too. It's literally, you could even want to watch, but you can't, because it could be painful for your ears and headphones for headphone users. So that one is like, you could have people who actually want to watch and want to be there, but they physically can't. And you definitely don't want that to be the reason why people leave your stream. And nowadays the standard is high. I mean, these platforms are hyper competitive. There's multi-millions of other streamers out there doing this. If you don't have like basic competent audio, like they'll just find somebody else out there who does.
AWOL, is Perrin trying to tell me right now, is he like being for real, that I should not use the microphone that's attached to my webcam?
Yeah, I would consider getting an upgrade, possibly. So on my YouTube channel, AWOL Digital, I actually do raw recordings of webcams on my channel, doing side-by-sides. And when you listen to the audio on these webcams, especially ones that were made pre-2018, they're actually completely unacceptable in terms of audio quality. I know you were kind of joking. The ones that were made in 2019 and 2020 actually tend to have a somewhat better microphone, because they realize that the production quality stakes have been increased. The only webcams I've ever seen that have, like, let's say an acceptable level of quality for some human being to listen to you for longer than 30 minutes would be the AverMedia PW513 and the Logitech Brio. And I would only use those on business calls. Certainly not an entertainment live stream, certainly not a YouTube channel. And God, hell no, you're not using that on your podcast.
You know, the best way to avoid audio issues is to win our giveaway, because we are giving away some really freaking fantastic audio equipment. You're going to get a Rodecaster Pro Podcast Production Studio, a Rode Procaster microphone, what we're using right here, a PSA-1 Professional Studio boom arm, a shock mount, a pop filter, Restream IO 3 months license, and a 3 months TubeBuddy Legend license. This is all the audio equipment that we use. It is some of the best, if not the best in the industry. It is very, very easy to learn. It's very, very easy to plug in. You can immediately just plug it in and immediately have better audio quality. Moving down the list here, let's see. Low effort streamers. This one, okay, so let's put a situation in place here, AWOL. Let's say you got, is it better to do a low effort stream than to not stream at all?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I would say that if you're trying to gain the technical skills required to do streaming, just streaming anything at all is good, to be able to acquire those skills and to get practice. Once you have the technical skills, there's no point in doing any more quote unquote low effort streams at that point, because that's all you can learn from doing low effort streams. I guess the other thing you could learn is that you're not going to grow at all by doing low effort streams. So people that think that they can just fire up the stream and just chat with whoever, these are the sorts of people that book me for consulting, that are frustrated when they don't have audience growth. And they're wondering why they're stuck at 10 viewers. There's so many of these that are stuck at 10 viewers, and they've been doing it for over a year or two. And it's because you need to put in a much higher level of effort with, most importantly, the concept of your stream, the pre-planning of your stream, in order to succeed in 2021 and beyond. And that's where the effort actually lies. A lot of people think about, if I'm going to do a high effort stream, they're thinking I need to be yelling into the mic. I need to be going bananas in terms of my performance. I need to be doing the best gameplay, and I need to practice playing video games to do it. That's not what we mean by high effort stream versus low effort. What we mean is planning ahead of time, coming up with a great concept, which makes for a great thumbnail, a great title, and just a compelling experience throughout the stream, where an interesting story is playing out, an interesting character is playing out in front of your eyes. That's the true effort. I mean, Perrin, for this show, we actually spend the vast majority of our time planning these episodes ahead of time, right?
Yeah, and so we now carve out at least one day out of the week to pre-plan well in advance, even like a month or more in advance. And we're constantly communicating outside of the episode too to make sure we've got everything ready. We've also got additional help on board to help us with things like thumbnail designs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff outside that requires preparation. It's kind of like you're only as good as your last stream. So if your last stream is a low effort stream, think about all the people who do follow you and are there watching, and they stumble upon this one stream where you're just really not trying that hard. You clearly don't care quite as much, and you didn't really prepare much at all. And you're going to lose people permanently based off that. Because if you're disinterested or you're showing that you don't care as much, why should they care at all? So I think once you've gotten past the basics, like you're saying, AWOL, and you're just trying to, and once you're accustomed and practiced and you know how to do the tech part, you know how to be engaging on stream, everything then comes down to making each stream as event oriented as possible, or as much of an event and much of a unique event, I guess, to attend. And if it's just something you're just firing up, you didn't prepare for it, and you're just kind of like hanging out, bros, and chilling, and that's not an event. And I don't, you're going to lose, you could lose audience off of that. And and your viewers know that that's not the best that you can do because they've seen better. And if you keep doing that, you will eventually lose more and more and more viewers. You may as well wait until you can plan something really, really exciting. You can put together a really engaging show with something unique to bring to the table to entertain your viewers.
That's right. And that's more of a hobby streamer thing to do rather than a career streamer. So if you want to be a career streamer, you need to put in a lot more effort. Personally, I actually get super annoyed when I take the time to go browse streams. I see one that looks interesting and then I click, and then it's just a dude sitting there playing a video game, not saying anything interesting, not keeping the conversation going, not doing anything remarkable, just playing Fortnite, or it's super obnoxious to me. I will never come back and view them ever again. Back to you, Ross.
Another way to quickly lose viewers is to show no or very little engagement with people providing financial support to you. And we talked about this earlier, Perrin, you kind of mentioned it. So let's put another situation in place here. You guys come and watch my stream. You may not have a lot of money. You donate anyway because you want to support it. I literally say nothing. So the next day you do the exact same thing, and I literally say nothing. Are you going to come back a third time and donate to my stream? Or are you going to go somewhere where you can actually feel like you're part of the experience?
It's like, as a streamer, this is like your one job. Like, your one job is to make sure that when someone donates or subscribes, that you acknowledge that in some way. That's like your one basic thing that you kind of have to do. Everything else can be like change or be like a strategy thing, or depending on how you build your stream. But that one thing you have to do. And if you don't do that one thing that your streamers have to do, you've failed as a streamer and you don't deserve success. So, and the viewers will think that 100%, and they will leave and they will go give money elsewhere. And they will be upset because you didn't meet the bare minimum that is the expectation for when somebody donates or decides to give you part of their money to say, hey, I like your stream. Here, have some of my money. Thanks for entertaining me. And it's just like, it's like manners. You don't have any, it's like, at that point, it's just basic manners. And it's like basic stream etiquette. If you don't follow it, then you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, AWOL. So what about people who are in situations where they're actually doing really good and they just literally don't have a way to personally shout out all the people giving donations? Are there other options to acknowledge these people?
I mean, of course. I mean, they can do things like alerts on the screen, and you can do things like sub-only chat. You can also do private Q&As for people that, are your channel members, or doing sub Sundays and things like that. That's why big streamers do those things. That's why they came up with them in the first place, is to just engage with that highly engaged group of people that's giving them money on a regular basis, but to do that on a large group scale. So, for example, if you're Dr. Disrespect, and you read every single subscriber that joins the Champions Club during your stream, it would be the worst broadcast you've ever watched, because you'd just be sitting there reading donations all day, which is horrible. So I just don't see it being viable outside of those group thank you sessions, Patreon offers, I think, the best option here. If you want to engage your viewers out off platform, where you can literally do a private Discord event or have a private chat with them outside of the stream, where you can just engage with them privately and kind of show a little bit of extra appreciation or extra benefits. It's up to you what your level of comfort is, providing more of yourself to your viewership outside of the content itself. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, and you certainly don't want to get too personal with a lot of these people that are providing financial support. Just want to remind all of you guys that are streamers, you don't owe that viewer anything but a thank you. And anything beyond that is on you to provide extra. And if the viewer wants more than that, like to be your friend or for you to send lewds or whatever, then you may want to consider drawing the line there and not interacting with them anymore.
Yep, moving down the list, number 8 on our 12 little things that annoy your viewers: real rage and genuine frustration. Now, situation here, obviously a lot of people think that, gamer raging and stuff like that is funny, and sure, it can be. But we've all been in a scenario where you walk into a room and you can tell that everybody in there has just been fighting, like a huge argument has just broke out. Sometimes it can get to that level when watching a stream where it goes way past funny and just becomes uncomfortable. So, Awa, how do you draw that line between the real rage and the kind of rage that is generally, oh, ha, ha, ha?
Yeah, so we used to have this issue on TGN Squadron all the time, where we had a group of personalities on stream, and a bunch of them were not very professional most of the time. If you're watching this later on, I'm happy to tell you that to your face as well. And it's just because the people, here's why. Most of the people on the streams, and obviously some of them were very professional most of the time, but some of the people, if you have like 1 or 2 people in a group that are interacting on a stream or on a team or a squad, especially in a competitive game, that are taking the game incredibly seriously, their emotional swings with the wins and losses of playing that game they'll act that out on everybody else. And the big difference between what happens in a video game, a competitive video game, versus what happens in real life. In real life, you have a coach that can act as a third party to keep everybody calm, to keep everybody in order, and to put rules in place to keep social order with a team of people that are competing in video games in particular. However, in regular sports, in video games, you don't have that coach. And so it's just all the players raging out, or a couple of the players raging out and getting upset, and there's no parents or no adults around to rein everything in. Those sorts of interactions are terrible. As a viewer, it's really awkward and you want to leave, and only your most hardcore viewers will stick around. And even if they do stick around, they're just going to start putting it into the background, and they're going to start to type in chat, I hope that negative person in the stream goes away. And they're going to want that person to just stop being around entirely and want you to delete that person off the roster or take that person out of your stream. I know from experience that that's what happens. And so going into live streaming, you need to take a deep breath. If you're doing things that, as a streamer, make you emotionally charged or emotionally upset for real, not just performatively, you need to cut those out of your life. And I've worked with other creators before that are top Call of Duty players, for example, and it actually became a toxic relationship between them and the game, where they were playing and it was actually affecting their relationship with their children, with their wife, even with themselves. They had to go to a therapist because they essentially had an unhealthy addiction to whatever it was they were doing on the stream live. So usually people that rage out and have those emotional outbursts at those dramatic times have emotional problems in real life that they're just acting out through a video game or something like that on their stream. And that is, I wouldn't even say it's annoying. It's just a way to just delete viewership instantly. Right, Perrin?
Yeah, this is a tough one. And this is one where, clearly there is raging in gaming. That is, half of gaming is quintessential rage and our fascination and entertainment by it. But that rage, normally there's a difference. And good streamers, good entertaining streamers, know the difference between a manufactured rage and one that's like they're actually upset and they're actually angry and they're actually taking out on viewers or somebody else. You got to know the difference, because clearly, like, the meme rage it can be funny, it can be very entertaining to be mad at the game, but the viewers have to be able to see that it's not everything. Like, you don't actually care that much about it. You're raging to be entertaining. And there's a part of that where we're used to it, we're accustomed to it. And there's lots of streamers who build a name for themselves by being able to do this while not making it uncomfortable and this like really, really awkward experience. And instead, it can be incredibly entertaining and incredibly engaging. But there's a subtle difference. One, you care way too much and you're actually angry. The other one, you're meme raging, basically. And if you can know the difference, you can play that advantage as a streamer and maybe even be more entertaining.
Yep, number 9 on the list, being indecisive. Well, you put this one on here. At what point does being indecisive in a stream, whether it's picking a path to go in a game or even just what you actually want to do on the stream, when does that cross the line into annoying?
It's annoying. Asking your viewers what you should do at all is annoying, in my opinion. You should just do what you do. Like, almost every time I've asked my viewers what I should be doing on a particular stream, they just said, do whatever you want. And so even if you ask, that's annoying. Like, people that are decisive, like in real and outside of streaming, people that are decisive are attractive. They're viewed as being cool. They're viewed as being a leader, as interesting. That confidence you exude when you just make decisions, that's what people are going to be attracted to if they're going to watch your performance. Imagine an actor on stage or an actor in front of a camera or on a TV show asking you, the viewer, while you're watching Netflix, should I be upset right now? Should I fall in love with this character? I don't know. Should I be upset that my wife's character cheated on me? Like, they don't ask you those questions. They just fucking get upset and they just do what they do, and they do it with confidence, and they do that performance. And that's what your viewers want from you. They want you to perform. They want you to make decisions. They want you to do what you do best. And if you're bad at it, then they'll leave. But they certainly don't want to make the decision for you. Most viewers just want to turn their brain off and just watch entertainment. And so if you're asking them to decide what is entertaining, you're basically putting off your duties, abdicating your duty of being interesting to your viewership. That's pretty dumb. That's just a bad way to entertain people. Perrin?
I don't know if I've got much more to add there. I think you said that was quite eloquently. Yeah,
that was pretty spot on. So let's come back to you on this one, Perrin. Number 10, eating into the mic. Do you ever have like 4-course meals delivered to you while you're in the middle of a stream? How does that typically go? I've
eaten on stream before, but this you can eat on stream, but you gotta like do it right, and you can't. And this is that comes down like basically like, do you eat everyday life like disgustingly or normally? Do you chew your food with your mouth open? Because that's not going to fly on a live stream when you're looking at the camera and talking to people. Do you even talk while you're eating? Because that's probably not the best idea. And if you are going to eat on stream, you got to kind of do it off to the side a little bit, not directly into the camera like this is supposed to be some entertaining thing, you eating. It's actually, it can actually be very annoying. But I've seen large streamers eat on stream. There's a way you do it that works, and you just detach it from the stream and do it off to the side a little bit, and have some like generally good manners while you do it, and you should be fine. But that being said, for those of you small and medium sized, I would just avoid it entirely, because that's something where big streamers can do it and get away with it, but little streamers, that will probably alienate people. You should be spending that time trying to be as engaging as possible to win over new viewers, instead of taking a break and eating on stream, unless you can make it entertaining in some way.
Well, if you cut to an interim scene while you're queuing up between games, for example, that doesn't have you on camera, but shows some interesting stuff on the screen, has some animations, maybe you're chatting here and there, and you're adept at muting your mic in between your smacks of your lips, that can totally work. But you're not going to be able to sit down and eat a full-blown meal live on the stream unless the stream is literally like mukbang or like an eating stream. Which are becoming popular, but most likely if your stream isn't exclusively about that, people don't want to watch that crap because there's some social stigma there. Back to you, Ross.
Yep, always avoid the crunchy food. If you're going to eat something, go like peanut butter sandwich, something that you're not going to like just crunch into the mic.
Dude, that's going to be so...
Just destroy it.
That's going to be smacky in that mic, bro. Ugh.
Well, you're putting too much peanut butter on there, man. It's about balance, AWOL. Moving on, too many bells and whistles. I think we've all come across a stream where you have no idea what's going on because so much is going on to the point where it's completely overwhelming.
Yeah, AWOL, exactly. That's exactly right. Perrin, what do you think? Ross, what do you think about that? Let's switch scenes right here. Let's have an animation. Alerts are coming up over the top. People like, there's so many like alert templates that you can do that have like bars that are like this much of the top of the screen cutting off your head and on the sides. Anytime anybody likes, it like swings in a bar like this far, like, like, like every single engagement that you get is some like giant machine, nuclear powered machine that needs to be displayed on the screen, and like every donation, like it's ridiculous. So no, you don't need to do a stream that's that complicated. I think that you should do tasteful alerts. Tasteful, minimal overlays, I think, are the way to go. For example, if you look at the webcam border I'm showing you around my camera here behind me, you see how thin it is and how minimal it is. I prefer minimal, and anything that's too thick, it's just too much look with lots of shadowing behind it, and the alerts are just too large. You're literally obstructing the content of the stream. People are tuned in for the content. They're not tuned in for the alerts and for the graphics package. Unless that's your bit of just doing over-the-top graphics, then if you're going to do that, maybe that's a way to be unique. Having the most over-the-top graphics section might be a really entertaining stream. But anyway, Perrin, what are your thoughts on that? Minimalism versus going, like trying to really go far. I mean, so many people have these cheesy, generic, templated gamer intros, for example, that are like, and then their logo shows up. Like, does anybody care about that at all?
No. In fact, unless you're going to make that part, like that alert or whatever, engaging in its own right. And by the way, somebody following, subscribing, or donating, whatever, inherently isn't entertaining. You can make them engaging and entertaining by using something like text to speech, allowing donos to like say funny things and have the text to speech read it out. That can make them more engaging. If they're like that, then they can be more of a part of the stream because they're adding to the entertainment. But if it's literally just a notification of someone following the stream, nobody else cares. Nobody cares. It should not be big and bold. It should not obstruct the us viewing the entertainment of your gameplay or whatever else you're doing on the screen. I personally like minimalist setups where there's barely anything on the screen, and even whenever stuff is happening, it's very small off to the side. Unless it's something like, what's a good example? Quinn 69 is a good one, where all of his donos, all of his subscriptions are all text to speech, and they're normally someone trolling him with jokes, and that's like the whole point of his stream. And when he does bring up other elements on stream, they're normally GIFs of memes coming up, so they're entertaining and engaging. Those things can work, but if they're just notifications for follows, subscriptions, and that's it, they should be minimal, and they should not obstruct the viewer's viewership or of their viewership of the gameplay or a view or of the engagement that's going on with whatever content you're trying to produce.
Yep. By the way, we are brought to you by Restream.io. Stop streaming to just one platform. Start streaming to all of them. Grow your audience elsewhere in case something would happen where the platform that you just put a lot of time and grew into gets shut down. Right now we're streaming to Twitch, D-Live, Trovo, Facebook, and Twitter all at the same time with just a click of a button. You can use the link that I'm dropping in the comments to get 30% off your first month with Restream.io. And kind of going back to what you just said a second ago, Perrin, well, you actually mentioned this too. The last one on our list today is a stream starting screen for small streamers. There are a lot of S's in that. I just literally noticed this when I was going through Facebook gaming yesterday, and I saw somebody, it was a small creator. I forget what game I was looking at. It wasn't very popular, but they had a 30-second starting screen, a countdown counting from 30 seconds down to when they're actually going to start. I don't know if this is the first time they had ever been on social media or Facebook, but nobody sits and stares at one post for 30 seconds. Most people don't even do it for 2 seconds. It is very obnoxious to have to sit there and make your audience wait. Isn't it just easier, guys, to just go live when you're actually ready to go live?
Aaron?
Platforms have algorithms, minus Twitch, but anywhere else you live stream, those first 10 to 15 seconds are absolutely crucial. And if what you're deciding to put there is I'm not actually live yet, but I will be soon. This is after people followed a notification that said you just went live. And now they're coming onto content that basically is saying that was a lie. So why should they ever click on that notification ever again? So it's not the case with Twitch, but any other platform that you go live and you do that on, it's a huge de-ranking in any sort of algorithm. And it just goes against marketing basics. Like, if you're going to promise something, deliver on it. If someone's going to click on a notification that says you're live, actually be live at that time. Here's a good rule of thumb on whether or not you should have a starting soon screen. Do you have a huge audience that is anticipating you going live every day? No? Then don't use the stream starting screen. If you do, then okay, it's probably all right.
Yeah, that
Anything
totally
else?
makes sense. And I think when I coach people that want to keep their screen, I try to talk them down from doing it. They think it increases their production value, or they invested money in that nerd or die template or whatever for streaming, and they think that it like makes them look more legit, or it makes them look more like a top streamer that they follow. And the more they can look like or be like that top streamer, the better in their mind. And they think that their viewers will think that they're more like they have made it. Your viewers don't care about your production value outside of being able to see and hear the content that you're presenting them. And telling them that the content will start in 30 seconds is not content. It's actually the opposite of content. It's telling people you have to wait to get what you want. I honestly wish we could delete every starting soon stream screen animation that's being sold on all of these stores, because they're bad for you. They're really bad for you. Ross, get us the hell out of here.
Yep, and kind of just going back to what Perrin said a second ago, this is all about trust. The entire purpose of doing this episode is to break down why your audience may not trust you, which obviously is going to affect your growth. We talk about these things because they are things that every streamer, including us, needs to work on and be aware of, so they can start building up the trust of your audience and start bringing in more reoccurring viewers and maybe even some more reoccurring donations. We will be back tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday. See you guys later.